This episode of The Modern Rogue is brought to you by Raycon.
Head on over to buyraycon.com/rogue and use promo code HOLIDAY at checkout to get 15% off your earbuds. Oh, that's right. That's what they are. Didn't even know we had them, did you?
We took a walk into the great unknown.
Holy cow, Jason, it's finally happening. We're learning sumo. That's why we're here at Dark Circle Sumo. No. This is the soundstage.
You want sumos? That's how you get sumos. Look.
We let the door open for 5 minutes. Suddenly Justin's here and he's brought an entire posse of sumo champions.
Yeah, I want to learn. Can I be frail and weak like this?
Yeah, I mean, look at me.
A physical specimen.
Like cut to the sexy band.
Look at me. Great, yeah. Real encouraging.
Anybody can do sumo. Anybody in any size. We have, outside of Japan, there are 4 weight classes. There's lightweight, which I'm at the top of lightweight, which is 187 on down. And then there's middleweight, there's light heavy, and heavy. So heavy is 254 and beyond.
So things I know about sumo, I know that there's a lot of ritual behind it, and I also know that, push somebody out of the ring?
Yep, so there's 2 ways to win in sumo. One is to push your opponent out of the ring, first person to step out of the ring with any part of their body. Or 2, have them touch the ground with anything other than the soles of their feet.
So if you push them and they do this, then
That's it.
That's it.
A hand, a knee, a shin.
So this is like a codified ancient tradition that is basically King of the Hill.
Shall we? There we go, right there. You put your foot next to mine, and we do this. And then, how is it any different than this?
Oh, I mean, you could do that. You could do that.
You've got me. What? You got some moves.
Yeah, right?
Did you teach him some stuff? Like playground sumo?
We've got a new lightweight.
The lightest weight. All right, well, talk us through it. Pretend we know nothing. Where do we start?
So you would start by putting on our uniform, which this is the only uniform. This is called a mawashi. And then basically you would do what's called chirichozu, which is our ring entering ceremony. It's showing that you have, no weapons. It's a fair fight.
Oh, so much like clasping wrists or shaking hands so that you could tell that no one was hiding a weapon.
Right.
This is like, I don't have a sword here. I also don't have a sword by this testicle.
Yeah, similar. It's showing that, you two come into this ring with just your bodies and showing respect to your opponent.
So what does that look like?
Let's go find out. So we've got our 2 competitors here on the east and west side. The Emperor would be on the north side, and he's watching the tournament, and then the judge, or in Japanese, it's the gyoji, he would be on the south side facing the opponents.
Oh.
So, which means, come in and bow. They will bow to each other. Then they'll go down into what's called sankyo. The legs are spread wide, and the palms are on your knees. Then they will go palms down, come up to the top of the mountain, wash your hands, right over left, left over right, come around and clap, waking up the gods, opening up the prayer book, raising their palms to show that they have no weapons on this side, palms down, showing that there's no weapons on this side either, and then that's it.
So a lot like tea ceremonies or something like that. There is a lot of tradition and ritual.
Yes, everything about sumo is mostly based in the Shinto religion, which came before the Chinese brought Buddhism.
I tend to mostly be concerned with screwing things up. So what are all the no-nos that could happen? Because I would just barrel right over and just, shoulder
All right,
Jason.
let's go over some of the things that you can't do. So come in, he'll be the one doing all the no-nos. So one thing you can't do, you can't punch your opponent,
Right.
but you can open face push. So you can push your opponent. You can strike by pushing, but you cannot punch or slap.
So, okay. If there's no windup, though, is the head off limits?
Head is not off limits.
Ooh, so as long as I'm here, I could theoretically,
Yes.
wow.
So is this a windup? If I just pack and just
Nope.
like,
But if you go here, pat.
that's bad.
Yeah.
I could still wreck you though by
I
doing.
know.
I mean,
It does
probably
happen.
not you, but maybe Brian.
That makes me want to ask, what would the judge do in that? Do you get a point deduction, or do they just call the match, or?
If you were to strike, close fist, or wind up and hit, that is a disqualification in the match.
So
Wow.
what if I do a little E Honda and whap, 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 and get Brian like 50 times in one?
Yep. All fair.
Totally legal.
All fair. There's very few rules in sumo.
And my mom said I wasn't gonna learn anything from Street Fighter 2.
What's another no-no?
All right, another no-no would be you can't kick your opponent. Boom. So, but what you can do, you can foot sweep.
Wait, that sounds like kicking,
No.
but with more steps.
Yep. But if I'm sweeping,
Okay.
that's different than kicking.
Yeah.
Okay. And so sweeping is the judge is looking for contact on the ground the whole time, or?
It can be higher.
Okay.
Sometimes you do go into a leg trip that is higher.
Okay.
It just can't be an all-out abrupt.
That's probably where a lot of the judge discrimination comes into play,
Yeah.
where they have to sit there and deliberate. No, that was intentionally too high up on the leg, we think. But, well, it's a few inches to the south, so it might be okay.
Do they do instant replays in sumo?
So yes, for the pros, they do instant replays, and let's say there was an illegal move, also rule number 3 is there's no hair pulling. Luckily, these two gentlemen don't have much hair. But if an opponent is taking someone out, if his hand's open on the hair, that's one thing. But the second, and really we've seen it many a times, where if they close the fingers into the hair, it didn't matter how great that match was. You lost.
In American terms, I assume this would be close to what is and isn't a face mask in American football, or?
It's like that.
Yeah.
I would think about it like that.
It seems like you're just watching all the time for unnecessary roughness.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, in sumo, all the rules seem pretty, gentleman-like. Just don't be a dick. I don't know.
No
Eye gouging.
Yeah, no eye gouging, I would assume. Yeah.
No eye gouging.
Yep.
That's one that should be an obvious one, but the 3 main ones.
Oh, and I guess crotch slapping is a no-no?
Yeah. I mean, now.
See, the fact that you're laughing.
Well, because one tachiai, sometimes you do want to grab here, and you might be smaller than your opponent, and sometimes that does happen. I mean, if it looks like you're grabbing for the belt, that's okay. But if you're intentionally like
So there's an
straight fist in it,
astonishing amount of this that is up to the discretion of the judge.
it just can't look like you're intentionally brought. This is your go-to. I'm trying to take this
That's a
guy's-
wind-up. Like, if you see this and then you have a torn ACL,
That should never happen.
Yeah.
You should never be able to sidekick someone.
So no kicks, no punches, no hair pulling, no biting,
no eye gouging,
no scratching,
no genital slapping.
no necromancy. What?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Okay, so what do we do to win?
Okay.
How do we cheat?
Can I guess?
There's a lot of for smaller wrestlers, and even in the pros, there are guys who are probably about 216, 215. There is one guy in the top level who is about 215 who can take down a 400-pounder.
Holy cow.
There's different wrestling styles. There's pusher thrusters who are just constantly a barrage of pushing.
Right.
And then there's guys who are tacticians who are belt fighters. And so that's when you start getting into more judo and things like that and wrestling.
Like you take the belt off and start cracking it.
You're using their belt to kind of control their waist.
So I would imagine there's an immense amount of watching the position of the other player and trying to guess, like a chess game, what they're about to do. And if you guess correctly, you're able to take their momentum and throw them past?
Yes, for our style that we teach, like the tachiai, which is the initial hit, is everything. You know, just like in chess, it's how you set up your pieces on the board that, you know, tell the rest of the story.
I mean, it's not unlike at the Historical Weapons Guild when we're facing off and you want to know, is Brian going low? Is he going high? Is he going wide? And anticipating that is everything.
Exactly. There's multiple types of tachiais. There's multiple ways for them to go in to get a better advantage on their opponent. I know they have long arms and they're really good on the belt, and I want to create some distance. I'm going in, you know, with like almost like a Heisman kind of thing at the collar. If I know that I want to get in and I don't want somebody to get a right hand on my belt, I'm gonna block and get in. There's all kinds of ways to tachiai.
Now, when you do the tachiai and you hit, do you have to do that? Or do sometimes they
Can you just run in a circle?
Right, or do they circle each other? Seriously.
No, sometimes, and it's slightly frowned upon, but it is not illegal. There is a move called a henka. And a henka would be like where if both of the opponents go down for tachiai, I'm gonna assume that he's gonna charge in. So Caleb's gonna do the henka and actually move out of the way.
The move that I was definitely gonna try already has a name.
Now,
henka.
You don't want to be known as, you know, the guy who does the henka all the time because people can adapt to that. But every now and then, you don't want to take that full charge. You can just move out of the way. That is completely legal.
About how long does a match usually last?
About a minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
From a purely theatrical standpoint, it's important to have all the ritual leading up to it, so that you have, you know, more than a minute-long show.
It's more like a duel or even a samurai duel in that those aren't usually long sword fights.
Some matches last 5 seconds. Literally straight from the tachiai. If you can hit and just, you know, bully him all the way back, match is over.
So what do you look for in that initial contact? Is there something you should be noting about how you're being touched or what you're seeing in their posture?
Yeah, you want to leverage your opponent. So you want to be the lower guy. The whole point
Squats.
is to...
This is why they're always telling you squats at the gym.
You gotta hit low. You gotta hit low. Because you want to be able to leverage him, because when someone stands up, they're easier to push.
Oh, it's like being on the defensive line in a football game that I saw on television one time. No, when you get down and you load up like that and you get as low as you can.
And you explode
and
upwards.
You explode out and
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, several of our guys come from football.
Can we see what it looks like at speed?
Yeah. 手をついて、待ったなし、はっきょい。
So, as a spectator, what are we watching for? Because I saw one foot come up off the ground and I got nervous.
Because he was powered him through.
There it is.
Nice.
So,
And there's a win.
yeah.
So notice, just like in wrestling, each person is jockeying for a better position. He was able to swim in. If you're going against a heavier guy, you don't want to be have two on the outside. You want to be able to get in and be able to control the belt from there. Because if I'm outside, I'm high, my arms are wide and spread with a bigger guy. That's not a good position for a smaller opponent.
If you're a big enough guy, is it legal to just grab the uniform and just lift him up?
Yes.
Do some presses and then just throw him out of
You
the
can
ring?
just lift him up like a little baby and
Wow. It never occurred to me how important, what did you call it again?
The mawashi.
Mawashi. How important the mawashi is in that's critical. It's everyone's going for that.
Yeah. Now like I said, there are guys who are pusher thrusters. These guys never touch the belt, and they are amazing. They are phenomenal at their craft. Not a lot of people can really hone in on just powering through people with hits.
I would love to see a good sumo match and to understand why it's good. Can we watch one?
Definitely. Let's do this. Nice. So Caleb already got a nice inside, which closed him off. He closed the gap really early and was able to get up under. I know he wanted that right inside. He avoided that right inside by hitting in first. He came in, he wants that right.
Right.
But he came in first, blocking that out, and got up under the arm, raising him high, and dragging him out this way.
It almost looked, to my dumb eyes, like the match was over the moment I saw his shoulder come up and in and connect solidly with his chest.
Which is why the Tachiai is so key. It's the setup for everything else.
It's the bind. So there seem to be different moves, like any other martial arts?
Each fighter, as they progress along, they kind of start to learn which position is going to give them the best position. Some people like their strongest dominant hand at the belt to lift, using that other arm to kind of avoid from getting a second hand on the belt. Maybe they're lefties, or maybe they like to be nice and tight on up on the inside.
Does there tend to be a blocking arm and a striking arm?
That does happen, especially if you know how good that opponent is on a specific side. And so you want to be able to block that and then do your thing to be able to advance.
Got it.
All right, let's see one more match. Hakyoi! Nice.
Oh, that's bad. I would imagine once a player becomes your halter top, you're in trouble.
Yeah, when you have your back to your opponent in sumo, that tends to be lights out.
Again, I was fascinated by the tactics of this because I was watching the faces and they were focusing so much on what they wanted to do and needed to do that it wasn't just wrestling.
Yeah. So you notice his Tachiai changed up. Because, obviously, there's a bigger guy. You get two hands on the belt, and he's gonna walk him out like a baby. But he changed to a more pusher thruster stance, which is why he was the one actually advancing at first. He came, off the Tachiai. He came with doubles at the collarbone to kind of push him back. And he's got very long arms. So he used those to his advantage until about over here when the tides kind of turned.
So what changes when you're not dealing with so much mass, when you're dealing with the featherweight category?
Lightweight sumo it looks completely different. It's very fast. It's very technical. There's a lot more
footwork and dexterity.
A lot more like different kinds of trips and like non-traditional ways of winning. In sumo, there are 82 different techniques to win. And so lightweight tends to be at the speed to be able to pull off some pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, no. We were talking about this the other day. There are 82 ways to win.
Yeah.
Push them out the ring with your bling. Kick them off down.
The majority of the wins are those two basics of, Oshidashi, which is just a frontal push out, or Yorikiri, which is a frontal force out. Those typically are the main wins.
Can we see the difference with the lightweight match?
We don't have any other.
Oh, we don't have any light.
I see. We do have two light heavies.
Wait,
we have two light heavies.
What is a light heavy?
Light heavy, I consider probably one of the most dangerous categories because they have the speed of the lights and middles, but they also have the power of heavies. And so they're the perfect hybrid of both worlds.
Yeah, let's see it.
Hakyoi!
Oh!
Oh!
That looked a lot more like two linebackers just striking each other.
I don't want to be in the middle of that. Talk to me about the head game. Like, do you go into it like
mess with them?
Haven't showered in 3 weeks, or maybe you poop yourself right during the thing.
Maybe you keep one in the chamber and you just sort of just to mess with them beforehand.
That I will lose if that happens.
No, for me personally, in competition, I try to blank out my mind. The days before a tournament, of course, you can go over things in your head of, God, okay, I know so-and-so fights this way. I'm gonna try to meet him on the opposite side, and you can go over your game plan in your head. But at that moment, you kind of just want to. I don't know, after I read this samurai book, if you're going into battle and your whole focus is on your opponent's sword, you're gonna die.
Okay,
that's
where my attention would be.
You gotta let your mind free and all the training you've done, basically, you just go into a free flow. If you overthink things and if you're stubborn and say, this is my one attack, and then that attack, gets blocked, and you've got nothing else, then you're screwed. You've got to be able to take what comes. Every chess game is actually different every time you play. So you need to be able to have enough in your arsenal and enough in your muscle memory to be able to flow with whatever comes your way.
Can you slather your body in Crisco?
No, but this is probably the slipperiest guy that I have on the team. He somehow secretes Crisco. Now, out of
Are you uncomfortable as I am right now? 'Cause I'm very uncomfortable.
this guy? But so out of respect in tournaments, you are supposed to towel down. And if you watch the pros, just before their match, you know they're wiping their entire body off, and then they go into. It's out of respect for your opponent, you know, so that it's a nice, fair, clean fight. Because you know, if this guy goes in as sweaty as he is, you know, I'd probably lose.
Go to the sporting goods store and spritz yourself with some fox urine. Head game. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Some guys I've competed with, I do wish they would wash their mawashi. I think it's a technique.
I guess at this point, we don't have any excuses. I think we have to try it, right?
We gotta put some mawashi on. We gotta get mawashied up.
Hakioi!
So at this point, I'm underneath. I got him.
You got him! Yeah! No! Fight! Yes!
I'm not out.
Yes!
I'm not out.
Shift your weights!
I can
Shift
go.
your
I can
weights!
keep going. I'm still in.
Hey, man. That was longer than any sumo match I've participated in.
It's longer than I expected to last.
You
Oh my
did
God.
awesome. I'm so proud of you.
Hakioi!
There you go.
You got it. You got it, Jason. He's about to crack.
I believe in you.
He's about to crack.
Yeah!
Yeah, push him. You got it.
No! Go! Yeah!
Oh no!
There you go. Push.
All right. It looked like that hurt. Okay. I was gonna lay here for a second.
One, two, three.
He's confusion. That was great.
Yeah. It's exhilarating.
It was a lot of fun.
Chip, I feel like there's only one more thing we got to do.
Indeed. Big thanks to Justin and the gang at Dark Circle Sumo. You can find more of their cool stuff at darkcirclesumo.com.
Everybody knows we love our Raycon earbuds, that we love that they're noise isolating, that they're comfortable. I sleep in mine, I'm crazy like that. But I finished an entire audiobook in like 2 days because I had them in all day long, and I have a hack for everybody.
Okay.
So they do have super long battery life, right? But normally you use them, you take them out, you put them, they're recharging, and then you do that all day. But when I'm listening to an audiobook, it's like nonstop. And so I'm sitting there driving, and at one point, finally, after hours and hours and hours, one of them says, "Can I go to sleep now?" It says low power, but I'm really into the audiobook, so I'm just like, okay, you go to sleep. Click. And I'm still listening on this one, and this one goes, "Brian, it's been hours and hours and hours," and I'm like, "I'm not done with you. Wake up, little bird." And I kept on going all day long. That's what's beautiful. They're so cozy, comfortable, they're sleek, they're discreet, they have the awesome pill box. I love Raycon.
And they start at half the price of their next biggest competitor.
Yeah, which means you could be risky with them. You could do stuff like the crazy head shake test, and you know, it's like, yeah, or you can like, whatever, I'm just gonna order some new ones. They probably don't want that, do they?
Little bird.
Where'd it go?
Click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/rogue and use code HOLIDAY to get 15% off site-wide.
They're not marketed for being indestructible. They're marketed for being affordably priced and their high quality sound. Their deep, rich bass.
Okay, I got one.
Raycons are available in 5 stylish colors, so you can pick the right one for everyone on your list, and with free shipping and returns, gifting is easier than ever.
The good news is, we are going to fight it, but if we don't, you could go to buyraycon.com/rogue, use promo code HOLIDAY, get 15% off. Oh, you know what?
I'll sync it. I'll play something and I'll turn it up.
Found it. Good? Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Well done.
Everyone.
They're not invulnerable, but they don't have to be. They're affordable. They're high quality. They're Raycons. And they're available right now at buyraycon.com/rogue with special promo code HOLIDAY.
Spell it right. HOLIDAY.
So I am just so trained for.
I know.
It's holiday.
It's holidays.
Holiday.
You get 15% off.
Yes.
Offer and link in the description below.
Hakioi! die! Oh! Wait, hang on. I gotta take my socks off.
Yeah, we made it this far before we got to don't wear socks.
Also, hurt my toe.
Yeah. Oh no.
That's injury counter right there. Oh,
Oh, did you really?
oh yeah.
Oh no.
No, I'm fine. It's just, I'm old.